This is Summertime Robin, our newest Remembrance character, and with just how many buffs she can provide, she may have just become one of the best new supports in Honkai Star Rail. First, we need to go over what makes Robin such a strong character, and starting with her skill, she will summon her Memo Sprite Summer Songbird, Bessie. But if her Memo Sprite is already on the field, instead, Robin will heal them and gain 6 vibes. Vibes are incredibly important for the strength of Robin's buffs. You'll gain 6 vibes by also using Robin's technique in the start of combat, which helps her get a jump start alongside advancing herself forward by 20% and giving all allies a 30% damage boost for 2 turns. Now, once you're in combat, anytime an ally uses an attack or provides healing or shields for the first time in any target's turn, Robin will gain 1 vibe. Then, when vibes reach 6 or more and Bessie is already on the field from Robin's skill, Robin will summon her next Summer Songbird, Drummy. Then, once vibes reach 12 or more, Robin will summon the last Summer Songbird, Patty. They'll all still have 1 HP bar and still count as 1 unit, but based on the number of Summer Songbirds on the field, this will inflict a vulnerability debuff on 2 enemies, up to 16% with all 3 birds. This will increase the entire team's damage output. When all the Summer Songbirds are on the field, all crowd control debuffs that Robin or the birds are under will be dispelled, and they will enter the fever state and deploy a zone. And you get a pretty cool live performance from Robin as she'll sing during the fever state. Now, with the zone from the fever state, this will allow teammates to ignore a percentage of enemies' defenses when dealing damage based on how many vibes Robin has, which at E0 you can have up to 50 vibes. As an example, if you have 15 vibes, the entire team will have 22.5% defense shred. And if you have 50 vibes, the entire team will have 40% defense shred from Robin. This is a universal buff that many teams can take advantage of, but Robin will need teammates to help with how many vibes she has throughout the fight, as when you are in the fever state, Summer Songbirds and a countdown will appear on the action bar. This countdown timer has an initial speed of 140. And when the countdown turn starts, 50% of your vibes get deducted, with a minimum of 12 vibes getting deducted. When vibes reach 0, the Summer Songbirds disappear and Robin exits the fever state. So as long as you have over 12 vibes before the countdown timer's turn, and the Summer Songbirds don't die, you can keep Robin in the fever state for the entire battle. And as for the Summer Songbirds, when it is their turn on the action order, they will use their Memo Spray skill, which deals wind damage to all enemies, gain 20 energy for Robin, and gain 1 vibe. These Summer Songbirds will also be very fast, as they have 180% of Robin's initial speed. So if your Robin has 181 speed, this means the Summer Songbirds will have 325 speed, as an example. These Summer Songbirds and allies on the team will help with gaining more vibes for Robin, so that she can retain her fever state, resulting in your team benefiting from the zone's defense shred for the entire battle. And this is only the start of Robin's buffs and utility. Moving on to Robin's ultimate, she'll advance forward an ally by 100% and regenerate a fixed amount of energy equal to 20% of their max energy, while also granting them the special guest effect. When the character with special guests and their summon attacks, they'll additionally grant Robin 2 points of vibes, so 3 vibes total when attacking, and they cannot advance the actions of other friendly targets. This effect will last for 2 turns, and the duration decreases by 1 at the start of this character's turn. So Robin's ultimate will provide 100% action advance, energy for an ally, and that ally will now be able to help Robin gain more vibes. The action advance is great for higher attacking frequency from your DPS, and the energy is useful for many DPS characters, especially those with a higher energy cost, such as Gilgamesh, Saber, Aglaea, and so on. Robin also has a nice way of gaining energy, which is when Robin or the Summer Songbirds receive healing or shields provided by team members, they gain stacks of groove. And the first time Robin gains vibes on any unit's turn, if she has groove, she consumes 1 stack of groove and regenerates 3 fixed energy. This will greatly help with Robin gaining energy to use her 140 cost ultimate more often. Additionally, it's worth noting that when an ally causes Robin to gain vibes, if their attack is higher than Robin's, then that ally will gain an attack buff based on Robin's max HP and the number of vibes you have. For example, let's say you had 14 vibes and Robin had 9,151 max HP. This will result in that ally gaining 1,976 attack. The attack buff is amazing for attack scaling damage dealers, but what about characters who aren't attack scaling? Robin can still benefit those characters too, since if an ally's attack is not higher than Robin's, instead they will get a crit damage buff based on the number of vibes you have. This will benefit characters who are HP scaling or characters who don't get too much value from having their attack increased. For example, Elation characters such as Evanescence, Silverwolf level 909, and Aventurine Waveflair can nicely benefit from the crit damage boost. As for Robin's final trace we haven't gone over just yet, her trace Rebuilt Harmony will increase the crit rate of Robin and the Summer Songbirds by 50%. This will be seen in combat and can nicely benefit Robin's damage output. Her smaller traces will boost her HP by 18%, 14 speed, and 6.7% crit rate. For her trace upgrades, prioritize her talent, Memo Sprite talent, and her ultimate. Then her Memo Sprite skill, while her basic attack and normal skill don't need to be leveled. So to recap Robin's buffs, based on the number of Summer Songbirds on the field, the damage taken by all enemies will increase. She gives the entire team defense shred from the fever state zone. Her ultimate gives 100% action advance and energy for an ally, and whenever an ally causes Robin to gain vibes, they will gain an attack buff or a crit damage buff. On top of this, depending on your light cone option, she'll provide even more buffs from there. When it comes to Robin's playstyle, first you want the team to help her reach 12 vibes, which 6 of them will come from her technique. So the team needs to help her get 6 more vibes to enter the fever state, which should be pretty easy to do early on in combat. Then Robin will enter the fever state where she will no longer take action, and you'll have the Summer Songbirds and the countdown timer on the action order. Summer Songbirds will attack once it's their turn, and you mainly want to try to gain as many vibes as you can with the rest of the team to increase the defense shred buff from her zone and to ensure Robin does not exit the fever state, which, as mentioned earlier, when it comes to the countdown timer's turn, vibes will be reduced by 50%, with a minimum of 12 vibes being deducted. So you need to make sure that Robin has over 12 vibes before this countdown timer's turn, so that you can stay in the fever state for the rest of the battle. Something to note is that when you attack with your damage dealers, the more vibes you have, the higher the defense shred buff from the zone, which means if you use your ultimate with your damage dealer while you have a higher amount of vibes before the countdown timer's turn, then you will deal more damage thanks to the larger defense shred buff. You do need to factor that you need over 12 vibes to retain the fever state, so that will be something to keep in mind when playing Robin in a team. In all the teams I have played Robin in, she has not had issues with retaining the fever state, especially if that team is on the faster side, has higher attacking frequency, and overall it isn't too difficult to keep her in the fever state for the entire battle, and she feels very comfortable to play from what I tested so far. When it comes to her ultimate, she uses her ultimate on, will get 100% action advance, energy, and become the special guest, resulting in them generating more vibes for Robin. I like to advance forward one of my primary damage dealers who also has high attacking frequency. For example, in Remembrance teams, I like to advance forward Evernight, as it nicely helps with having amazing uptime on the Darkest Riddle state thanks to the additional energy from Robin. In certain cases though, for example in an Elation team, you could advance forward Yao Guang, which not only gets her more energy from the ultimate, but she also gets to attack again, resulting in even more energy, getting you closer to using Yao Guang's ultimate again for another aha instant. When it comes to Robin's team synergies, due to her very versatile buffs, she can be used in many teams, as she can be paired alongside attack scaling DPS, HP scaling, you can even use her in Elation teams, and so on. When it comes to mono Remembrance teams, you would use Castorice, Evernight, Robin, and Hyacinth. Cyrene would now have the opportunity to move to a different team if you have another Chrysosaur team. For example, let's say you played a Castorice team and a Phainon team. You can now put Robin on the Castorice team to freely move Cyrene to the Phainon team. As for main DPS Evernight, you would be replacing Remembrance Trailblazer with Robin, which does free up Trailblazer for different team, or if you did use a different Trailblazer path, that is an option as well. Robin nicely helps with Evernight maintaining the Darkest Riddle state thanks to the additional energy from Robin's ultimate. Something to note regarding Cyrene and Robin though is that Robin can assist with gaining Cyrene recollection stacks, as while Robin isn't a Chrysosaur, she is a Remembrance character, meaning that the Summer Songbirds, when summoned, will gain Future, assisting with gaining Cyrene recollection stacks, making her a useful option alongside her. Additionally, you can use Robin in the place of Remembrance Trailblazer for current teams. For example, Robin with Phainon, and since Phainon departs allies, vibes won't be deducted from the countdown timer, meaning he can nicely take advantage of her buffs while he's in his territory. You can use Robin with Anaxa, Mighty can be used alongside Robin. There's the option of Robin alongside Archer, especially in the case of Sustainless. You can use Robin alongside Silverwolf level 999 or Evanescia. Evanescia can benefit from the energy, and for Silverwolf, you can advance forward and provide more energy for Yao Guang, resulting in you using her ultimate sooner for Aha Instant. We also have Aglaea, who gets a very nice upgrade from Robin. Robin provides Aglaea with energy, action advance, Aglaea being able to attack often, assists with gaining more vibes for an even stronger buff from Robin, and more. Next up, we have Saber and Gilgamesh, who can nicely benefit from the team-wide buffs Robin provides, as well as the action advance and energy from her ultimate, which if you are currently using Morning X Blade with Gilgamesh and Saber, this allows you to free him up for another team. And speaking of Morning X Blade, we also have Ashveil in Blade, who can nicely benefit from Robin's buffs. Not only will they be able to generate a lot of vibes for Robin thanks to their attacking frequency, but with Robin, each character will have 100% defense shred, as Blade provides 30%, Ashveil provides 40%, and with only 30 vibes, Robin can provide the remaining 30% they need. For those who don't have Morning X Blade and do plan to get both Aventurine Waveflair and Robin, you can also put Robin as a third slot on this team as well. Himiko Nova can benefit from Robin's buffs for either Companion Protocol, which do keep in mind, since Robin is not an Astral Express member, you do need to ensure one of the last two members are from the Astral Express, which some great options can be Welt and Non-Hung PT. You also only need 26 vibes to have 100% defense shred for Himiko if you're using Welt as well as Himiko's signature Light Cone, as you'll get 32% from Himiko's Light Cone, 28% from Robin, and 40% from Welt. Other uses can be Robin alongside Feixiao, Acheron, and more. Additionally, when it comes to sustain options, Hyacinth is an amazing option for Robin, as not only will she help her gain vibes, but Hyacinth's After Rain state will boost Robin's max HP, which further boosts Robin's attack buff that she's able to provide for an ally. Robin is an incredibly versatile support, and while she isn't designed to be a hyper-specific support for an archetype like how Yao Guang is for Elation teams, Robin is still a powerful support who can be used to boost your account when it comes to team building options. We do have 3 team endgame modes, and Robin can be a very nice option for at least one of those teams, even at just E0. When it does come to Robin's Eidolons though, they do provide an insane amount of utility and buffs. Starting with her E1, the Summer Songbirds will now record 100% of the non-true damage dealt by allies, and when using their Memo Spread skill, it additionally deals true damage equal to 11% of the total damage recorded, plus 1/10 of the current vibes to the enemy with the highest HP. Then 50% of the recorded value is cleared. This E1 is very similar to Cypher's kit and allow Robin to deal much more damage when the Summer Songbirds attack enemies, based on how much damage the rest of the team is dealing. This Eidolon allows Robin to become an even more competitive slot in your teams, and while this Eidolon isn't needed, the extra damage output is great for the team. As for her second Eidolon, she increases the ult-type res pen of all allies by 18%, which further boosts the damage output of the team, and on top of this, Robin's max vibes increases by 20, meaning you can now get up to 70 vibes. This can further boost the defense shred from her zone and any other buffs that are influenced by how many vibes she has. Additionally, the first time an ally uses an ability that causes Robin to gain vibes within any target's turn, she gains an extra 2 vibes, which helps you stack her vibes much faster. When it comes to vertical investment, if you do plan to go beyond E0 S0, I would recommend going for E1 over S1 and E2 S0 over E1 S1. So basically going for her first 2 Eidolons over her signature Light Cone. As for her fourth Eidolon, upon entering the Fever state, Robin will immediately gain 12 points of vibes. vibes. And the speed of the summer songbirds will increase by 20% plus her current vibes times 0.5%. Overall, more vibes for Robin entering the fever state and more speed for the summer songbirds. Lastly, for her 6th Eidolon, her Memo Spray skill damage multiplier increases by 100% of the original value, and while in the fever state, Robin's ultimate can be stored up to 2 times. After entering the fever state for the first time in battle, or at the start of a fever countdown turn in battle, you'll regenerate a fixed amount of 140 energy. This Eidolon lets Robin use her ultimate much more often and increases the skill damage multiplier from the summer songbirds. Now that we've gone over Robin's Eidolons, let's go over her build. For her relic options, you can use World Remaking Deliverer, which boosts her max HP and increases all allies damage by 15%. This set can also stack in the case of multiple characters having this relic set on the same team. As for alternative relic sets, you can use the Ordeal set for the additional crit damage, which can work with characters like Evanescea, if you are using Robin on an Evanescea team, or even using relic sets like Messenger Traversing Hackerspace for the extra speed for the team. This could benefit Silverwolf teams, for example. Usually the go-to relic set though will be World Remaking Deliverer. As for planar options, I would highly recommend using Amphorius the Eternal Land. This provides Robin with 8% crit rate, and while her Memo Spray is on field, all ally speed will increase by 8%. Overall, a great option for Robin, and if you don't have this set, you could use other buffing support sets, for example Broken Keel for more crit damage, Lushaka for more attack and energy regen, Penacony if you're using a Wind DPS, Fleet of the Ageless, or Vonwhack. Robin does have action advance with her technique and light cone, so she will get effects similar to Vonwhack with these in mind. Now, as for her main stats, Robin is an HP scaling character, which means some of her buffs as well as her damage output is based on her max HP. Robin's summer songbirds will also have an initial speed equal to 180% of Robin's speed, so her speed stat will also matter for how fast her summer songbirds are in combat. For her chest piece, you can go with HP or crit chest. For boots, you can go with speed or HP. Her orb can be HP or wind, preferably HP. And for rope, you can go with energy rope or HP rope. Depending on the team, there may be some preferences. For example, in the case of an Elation team, Robin would ideally want more attack than the Elation DPS, so that they get the crit damage buff rather than the attack buff. The same can apply to HP scaling teams as well, where Robin would want more attack than the other characters on the team, so that she can give them the crit damage buff instead. As for attack scaling team, the main buff that is influenced by Robin's max HP is the attack buff she'll provide when an ally gives Robin vibes. So having an HP chest over crits and an HP orb will be highly beneficial to give a larger attack boost to your damage dealers. When it comes to Robin's speed, as mentioned, this will affect her summer songbird speed, as their speed will be equal to 180% of Robin's speed. The faster Robin is, the faster your summer songbirds will be, resulting in more energy gain and attack frequency from them. For teams that want high attacking frequency, making Robin on the faster side, around 180 plus speed, nicely benefit those teams, but for teams outside of that, you could have her a bit slower, around 140 plus speed. As for her substats, you would just focus on HP, speed, and crit damage and crit rate. Robin will get a free 50% crit rate from her Trace Rebuilt Harmony, so that is something to keep in mind when you are building her. As for Robin's light cone options, you can use her signature as it'll provide her with 30% max HP. After using her ultimate, she'll recover 1 skill point for allies, which helps with the skill point usage of the team, and when entering combat, her action is advanced forward by 30% and she gains New Melody for 2 turns. New Melody will increase all allies speed by 20%, and this buff is based on Robin's turns, so you'll retain this buff the whole fight. This buff nicely benefits characters who scale from speed and can allow you to get faster turns from the team as well. As for alternatives, you can use Cyrene's signature light cone, Evernight, Hyacinth, or even Castorice's signature light cone on Robin. But for more budget-friendly options, there's Memory Curtain Never Falls, giving Robin even more speed. But do keep in mind that the damage buff will run out, as once Robin is in the fever state, she won't use her skill anymore. There's also the story's next page, which can provide Robin with a max HP increase, and there's also the option of just using a high base HP light cone on Robin if you don't have many remembrance options. Overall, Robin has amazing value when it comes to her flexibility and being able to fill in for one of the slots for your 3 teams for endgame. If you already have high investment on your 3 teams though and feel like Robin may not be as worthwhile for you, for example, if you're only able to get an E0 Robin but then majority of your characters are potentially E2 or above, then you could potentially hold off on Robin for right now if you already have a lot of investment on your current characters. I will say though, in most cases, especially with a lot of characters that may be E0 on your team, Robin will be a very nice option for you to put on those teams, and even characters that do have some Eidolons, Robin can still provide a nice amount of value for them as well. I'd love to know what you all think about Robin though, and if you'd like to see some more content from me, consider subscribing to the channel, and I hope to see you all next time. Peace.